Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, viniendo a todos ustedes. Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, viniendo de nosotros. Algunos de tus presentadores de podcast favoritos están aquí, Daviana, Marta y Rebecca.
Ese soy yo.
Este mes es el mes de herencia Hispania, así que para honor estoy tratando de cantar en español. Es un hermoso idioma. Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, justo en tus oídos. Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey. Oh chico, aquí viene.
Welcome back to the 2020 Cristo Rey podcast. I'm Daviana, and I'm here with Martai.
Glad to be back.
And Rebecca.
Hi, guys.
Yesterday marked the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, so to wind down our celebration, we have brought back our guests from last week to continue our conversation. It was so good we couldn't fit it into one show. Welcome back, Miss Bauman.
Thank you, Daviana, for having me back.
Mr. Similno.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be back, guys.
Miss Terrell.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
And Mrs. Vallejo.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me back.
For Ms. Bauman, last week you were telling us about how you grew up in the United States being Hispanic. And I know a lot of Hispanic Americans that go through that, where they're the only Hispanics and at school, and they kind of balance between trying to be who they are in their background and trying to fit in with the rest of the American teenagers, because, you know, you don't want to be put as that one Hispanic girl or boy in the class. Was it a struggle for you? Do you think it was a struggle to kind of be this and then try to be something else? Or did you find a way to kind of be yourself?
I would say that I've always been very proud to be Puerto Rican. It's something that I was happy to bear. That sounds negative. Whenever there were things that happened as a result of my being Hispanic and then having to be on the educator end of an interaction with someone to let them know what you just said was a misconception, I want to set the record straight. It never felt burdensome. I always felt happy to be that person in that person's life. I always felt proud that I had a story and a background that gave me something that made me feel unique. So it never felt truly like a negative thing. Ultimately, having that background made me a stronger person and made me the person that I am today, and I'm grateful for that. I'll also say, obviously, Hispanic culture and Catholic culture are very integrated. And I think that was another thing that came up frequently in my upbringing, is that my family is very Catholic. I was raised Catholic, and that was a humongous part of who I was as an individual as well. So when I transferred from Catholic school to a public school when I was 13, that also was kind of part of a culture clash, where suddenly people looked at me weird when I wanted to pray before every meal, and when I thought it was completely normal to just have conversations about God, and that was not viewed as typical behavior. And so I think that was also something that set me apart in a way that I'm happy with, but something else that was kind of an interesting way of being raised in the United States with such a strong Hispanic background, because conversations that I would have with my Hispanic family would never seem strange or weird, when I had them with American peers, would seem strange to them.
Ms. Bauman, I appreciate so much what you're sharing. You and I had a chance to go to the Guadalupe Summit last year. I think many of our students were surprised on seeing how many students from Hispanic backgrounds were there, and that is, in some ways they all shared the same experiences. Some of them hard, some of them positive, some of them hard, but as you said, are helping them to become a better person, to be more, or to not defend, but probably to be proud of who you are, where are you coming from, and all the beautiful things that your culture is giving you as a person, and how all these different, like the Catholic faith or family or the language, are you can use them at some point in your life as tools to become a better person and to achieve more things.
I'll also say that in speaking to students and trying to convince them you should go to the Guadalupe Summit in previous years, I know there's sometimes hesitancy from Hispanic students who are not Spanish speaking, who were not raised in a bilingual household. And I relate to that because when I was growing up in Columbus, Ohio, my parents made the decision to stop speaking in Spanish in front of me because at the time, teachers at my school were actually advising that it would be too confusing for children to learn two languages at once. And I've always regretted not being raised bilingual. But I think there is a sense from many Hispanic students who are not Spanish speaking that they don't truly belong in the Hispanic culture, that they shouldn't be involved in cultural events, that maybe something like the Guadalupe Summit isn't a place for them to go because they feel like an outsider because they don't speak this language that is part of our heritage. And I recognize that absence, and it's something that I regret, not being a fluent Spanish speaker to this day. So I just want to encourage any Hispanic student that ever does feel that way to know that you do have a unique heritage and you have a place in your community.
Kind of a similar question for Mr. Simono. Mr. Simono, what type of traditions does the Dominican Republic have that's not in Mexico or in different Latin American countries?
Honestly, I can proudly say we in the Dominican Republic have the second biggest carnival celebration in whole Latin America. We're only behind Brazil because everyone knows the Brazil carnival. It's one of the biggest things that they have. Other than that, the place to go for a carnival celebration is the Dominican Republic. During February is the month of our independence. There's one city in our country that's called La Vega that celebrates every Sunday the independence, and we have a carnival parade where we have people dressing in big and colorful costumes. They call themselves Diablos Cojuelos. It's an experience that if anyone has a chance to live it, please do so. I'm actually part of a group. I've dressed myself up. It's amazing. It's something else. And other than that, as everyone knows, a lot of countries are known for their impacts in sports and sciences and all that. But the Dominican Republic, sports are religions, especially, the baseball part. And outside of the fact that the Dominicans are the second highest amount or percentage of players in the majors when it comes to baseball, we are also the one league outside of the U.S. MLB that puts together talent as good, as equal to an MLB. We have a tournament during the winter that a lot of the U.S. players actually jump on the opportunity to go into the Dominican and play during winter. Also, probably, most of them are from the north part of the country, trying to run away from the cold, but they go down to the Dominican and they play at the highest, most competitive league that you will find outside of the U.S. and outside of Japan when it comes to baseball. So those are just some of the things that I could mention you different than any other Spanish-speaking country.
And any of you guys can answer this. So since you guys are from different places, like what types of things do your country have that makes you proud to be from a Hispanic from that specific country?
Well, I'm going to start with Mexico. I think one will be the type of personality that Mexicans have, but it goes along with all Hispanic countries. We have tourism in Mexico, of course, is a very part of the country's income. It has suffered a lot for COVID, but it doesn't matter where you go in Mexico, you are going to feel that welcoming right away with the handshake, with the smile, with the hugs, with people trying to speak English, even if it's a little broken, with the food, of course, the different types of fruits and all that. The music, we have many very, very talented musicians that play all around the world. The art in Mexico also is well known all over the world. I'm very, very proud of all the murals that we have from Frida Kahlo and her husband, Rivera. Mexico has one of the most important hospitals that big amount of people for free. I'm very proud of the medical field and how it's run in Mexico too.
Greetings, Cougars. Mr. Rose here, reminding you all that October is National Bully Prevention Month. Here at Cristo Rey, we want to create a bully-free zone, but we need all of you to be active participants in ensuring everyone feels safe and welcome. We strive to uphold one of the most important lessons taught in the Bible. That is, to treat others as you wish to be treated. We all must be vigilant, so if you see something, say something. Don't stand by, take action. We are all in this together.
For my point from the Dominican, honestly, I would say it wouldn't be me if I don't say this. I'm proud of, our impact and position when it comes to baseball. Most of you guys know I'm a former baseball player. It's kind of like, I don't know, built into your DNA. If you're from the Dominican, you either like it or you either play it. Like those are the two options. Like there's no not being a fan or somehow connected to the sport. So it makes me really proud of the fact that when you have a conversation about that sport, there's always at least one or two names that are going to pop up in any conversations. Who's the best? Who's been the best power hitter? Who's been the best base stealer and all that? And a Dominican player's name is going to come in that conversation. So just the fact that, that sport that for us is more like a religion type of thing. And we have such an impact and such a positioning among the best of, the best of the best. It makes me proud. Also, I would say our music, we have artists like Juan Luis Guerra, we have artists like Romeo Santos, we have some other artists like Prince Royce and some other stuff that their impact and the how deep they've gotten not only among Spanish speakers but also all over the world with their music puts us in a position like, oh wait, these people are like, they're way more than just a small little island in the Caribbean that people go to a nice resort and visit paradise on earth. People like Oscar de la Renta and some many other fashion people that we have coming from the Dominican Republic that have put our name up there as well at the highest, at the highest that they can be when it comes to fashion, when it comes to modeling and all that. So there's a lot to take, honestly. There's a lot to see and be proud of. And honestly, even if, and this is my personal opinion, even if there wasn't like any big names or famous people from my country, I would always say I'm proud of the fact that I'm from the Dominican, just because it built me to who I am. Being in a country as not as developed as a country like the US, or not having as many opportunities growing up as most of the kids do have here, and being able to power through and put myself in a position to succeed, not only in my country, but that resilience, that willingness to just power through any type of situations that I've come across, that it's built into me just because I grew up in a country like mine. So that's something else that I'm really proud of, my heritage.
I'll say what I'm proud about Puerto Rico. I'll split it into two categories: the people and the place itself. So with the people, I'll say Puerto Ricans, family comes first. You can count on family, but you can also count on complete strangers. If you were to break down on the side of the road, like, the next person coming along is going to stop and help you. There is a happiness that almost doesn't make sense in Puerto Rico. My brother once read a book that ranked the average top 5 happiest countries in the world. And the author of this book listed Puerto Rico among them, but mentioned it didn't make any sense because compared to these other countries' standards of living, he didn't understand Puerto Rico didn't have as good a standard of living, and yet the people were so happy. The people, they were resilient. They were able to go with the flow and find the good. And that is so true of Puerto Rican people. The last 4 years have been very hard in Puerto Rico, between disease, this pandemic, earthquakes, Hurricane Maria. There have been so many disasters that have caused many Puerto Ricans to not be able to stay in the country. I know many of my extended family members. My father's wife's children moved away from the island after Hurricane Maria and the earthquakes. They've had to come to the United States to find work because there just haven't been enough opportunities in Puerto Rico. And yet, when you speak to people there, despite all of the hardships that have been hitting Puerto Rico lately, that joy is still there. That pride in Puerto Rico is still there. The desire to rebuild and make Puerto Rico better than it ever was before is still there. And I so admire that level of determination when it just feels like wave after wave of hardship has been hitting this country lately. And it's been hard to watch from afar and not be able to visit and be there right now during this pandemic. So I can only imagine what it feels like to be there experiencing it firsthand. So first I'll say the people. And then secondly is the place itself. Puerto Rico is the most beautiful place in the world. I've done quite a bit of travel within our own country, and the United States has so much to offer as far as places to travel and visit, as well as internationally. And if anyone were to ask if I were to go anywhere in the world and visit one place, my answer would be Puerto Rico. I am biased because I'm a biology teacher, and so part of what I love about this island is there is so much natural beauty there. You can find so much diversity of life and different biomes to discover, from beaches to rainforests to deserts to mountain ecosystems. And it's fascinating that a place that is so small offers so much diversity in both culture and biology. So I have a lot that I'm proud of when it comes to Puerto Rico.
Many things I'm proud of Mexico. Like Mexico for me means everything. Every single time I think about Mexico, it excites me. I think about all the cultures. In Mexico, we have 169 different languages that are still alive. Mexican food is human, so our food is wonderful. Our cultures, the language we speak, all the native people that we up to. I'm from Mexico City. So Mexico City is one of the biggest cities in the world. People used to call it also Mexico Crazy City because all the things that are going on at once. Like you can go from the most popular place and suddenly change to the most luxurious area, and then just having all these people from different parts of the country hanging around in the Zócalo, buying things, eating food on the streets, like smelling everything, feeling everything, listening. It's just amazing. There's so many things to be proud of about being a Mexican and being from Mexico, and Mexico per se is proud. I think there's so many things that we still have to face.
What kind of foods do your family eat on Hispanic Heritage Month?
We usually prepare a lot of dishes, and some of them will be pollo con mole, which is pollo with a sauce that is hot, but it is mixed with chocolate. And yes, it sounds weird, but it is delicious. So pollo con mole, we have romeritos, which is like a type of salad. So it's green, it looks like grass, and sometimes it's mixed with potatoes, and it has this mole sauce as well. This is a soup, and it has corn, and we spice it with lettuce and oregano, and it has meat, pork meat in it, and it is called pozole. And so those are probably a few dishes that we prepare for that day. We have the mezquites as well. The mezquites is corn as well, and it is mixed with lemon and hot peppers. So it is really good also. So we have a lot of dishes that we prepare that day. Of course, the rice and the frijoles with tortillas won't be missed in this feast. Thank you, Diviana, for your question.
I am a huge fan of Mexican food. So if you ever make anything Miss Vallejo I would love to have some.
It will be my pleasure, Marta.
Because I'm sorry, this is off topic, but we went to a Mexican place yesterday. I had pancake balls. It was called Catalina's. And how do you say caramel in Spanish?
Maíz.
Yes. It had caramel filling in the middle of it.
That sounds delicious.
So if you guys ever make any food, especially you, Mr. Simono, I like different foods from different places. So if you ever bring any food, I would love to have some.
That most likely is going to be part of our class because that is key when it comes to culture. Not just Hispanic culture. I always try to do something with my classes where everyone can like bring a little bit of their, history. So that might actually happen.
Ooh, yay. I love food.
Hey Cougars, my name is Rita and I'm one of the 10th grade Student Council representatives. And I'm here to encourage you to run for Student Council representative if you're in 9th grade. It's a great opportunity to get your voice out and heard and make changes to the school. It also looks great on college applications. So if you're interested in that, sign up and fill out the form in your email. Have a great day, Cougars.
Traditional foods that I would eat when we're having a celebration together would be pasteles, which you can kind of think of them as like a hot pocket that's made with banana, and inside we put lots of meats, chicken, sausage, peppers, olives, and it's cooked wrapped in banana leaves. And it's a multi-day process to make these, so it's something that we only have on special occasions. So pasteles, we always have multiple plantain dishes. So tostones, arenitas, amarillos. So basically taking plantains and deep frying them and seasoning them in a variety of ways. And then always rice and beans. So just a few things that we typically eat when we get together.
In this month, my family and I, we cook something also called cook with tomato chipotle sauce and lots of onions. And it's delicious, and you put it on a tostada. And yeah, also we eat tostadas de pata, which is like pig house, I think so, you can call it like that. And I cook them vinegar, and they are delicious, and you also put them on a tostada and you eat them. They are called all the ones that Mr. say too.
Well, for us, first I have to say, tinga is amazing. Like, that is the best thing I've ever had as a Mexican dish. And trust me, I've tried them all. Mole is awesome, Ms. Vallejo. I would definitely love to try your mole. Again, all these is good, but tinga, oh my gosh. If you haven't had a tinga, please try to have a tinga. That is so good, especially if you put a little bit of avocado on top. Oof, that is something else. But for us, the Dominicans, a lot like Ms. Bauman, we do a lot, with plantains. So we do tostones, we do mangú, which is like mashed plantains. We do them with, green plantains. We do them with the yellow ones, which Puerto Ricans call amarillos. We call maduros. So we do a lot of those. We do mofongo. That's also something that I know it's common a lot in Puerto Rico because it's also made with plantains. We have mofongo, which is like a mashed plantain with garlic, and we do like a chicken broth, and we put in some like pork rinds, like chicharrón, which is like the skin, like the crunchy skin of the pork. So it's awesome. Always rice and beans, always some sort of a stew type chicken. Like, we call it pollo guisado, which is like, we do some sort of I don't want to say stew because it's not liquid itself, but we do like a broth, like a specific broth for the chicken, and we cook it. So we do that a lot. We do pasteles en hojas also a lot, like Ms. Bowman said, and we eat a lot of bread. Honestly, it's not even fair, the amount of bread that we eat. I'm pretty sure that if you talk to a Dominican can tell you they can have bread for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they honestly don't mind. So that is crazy. We do a lot of different combinations with the rice and beans. We not only make the rice and the beans separate, we do stuff that is called moro, which is the beans inside of the rice. And that is amazing. We do them with kidney beans, but we also do it with guandules, which is pigeon bees, and so on. Like, it's amazing. I mean, the food in my country, it's off the chart.
It all sounds wonderful. All the food sounds great. But kind of as a wrap-up question, what is one fascinating thing about Hispanic Heritage Month that you want us to take away from this month in the podcast?
I guess what I'll say is, having come from a childhood where I went to a school that did not have much diversity, is just maybe this month can be a moment to realize and appreciate the diversity that exists at Cristo Rey Columbus High School, and make an effort to ensure that your social circle represents the diversity that is possible at our school. Because being able to learn from one another and understand and appreciate the diverse backgrounds of every student at our school really is a gift. And I see students already doing that so wonderfully. And it makes me very happy to be a teacher at a school that has so much love and compassion and desire to learn from one another.
I have to agree with Ms. Bowman. The one thing I would probably encourage someone that has been exposed to the positive things that you'll see during Hispanic Heritage Month is try to, expand your circle. Having not only Hispanics, having different types of cultures around you would only benefit you in the long run. It will make you a more all-around individual. It will give you different perspectives on how to look certain situations in different ways based on, who is affecting or who is not being affected, but more like benefiting from this. So it will give you a broader picture of whatever it's going on, whether it's positive or negative around you. And honestly, celebrate. We love, as Hispanics, we love our opportunities to have some celebrations, to have some fun. So being around a Hispanic during Hispanic Heritage Month, it's only going to turn out as a party. You are going to be surrounded by people that are willing to, live life the way it should be. Life by itself, it's hard. So you just need to have fun on the ride. So that's something I can assure you'll have from someone coming from a Hispanic background.
I also think that one important thing about the Hispanic Heritage Month is that let you see what is unseen. Let you focus on these people that lives in the United States, like how Hispanic people has been and how it's gonna keep happening, because Hispanic people is present in so many fields, in so many areas, and it's here to show you and to invite you to be part of what we are. And I think Hispanic Heritage Month, it gives you that opportunity to just get into the Hispanic world, to see the Hispanic people, to see that when we come with a lot of baggage, we bring family histories, we bring our life histories, we bring our food, we bring our enthusiasm, we bring all these things, reasons to always strive and to do better, an opportunity to just get into that.
Well, since my colleagues have been focused on the non-Hispanic population in our school, I would like to send my message for the Hispanic students. I would like to let you know that we all here are very lucky in being in Cristo Rey. Cristo Rey is an institution that welcomes all cultures, supports all cultures, and gives opportunities to all cultures. So we are in a very special place, and we need to make sure we take advantage of that and feel proud of who you are, where you are coming from. Feel proud of being able to speak 2 languages. Be ready to share how much you can bring to this community, to this society, to this country. We need you, and we need you a lot. So prepare yourself, educate yourself, be proud of who you are, and be ready to share how much you can bring to our community. Be brave.
Thank you so much for sharing your heritage and your background, and thank you for being such a big impact in the Cristo Rey Columbus High School family. And thank you so much for coming today. It was amazing sharing things I didn't even know about, because I'm not Puerto Rican or Dominican or Mexican, so it was very nice to hear your different stories and your background.
Thank you for having us.
Happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you for your time.
Adios.
Adios. Don't forget about the food, Mrs. Vallejo.
I won't, don't worry.
Bye.
Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, vino a todos ustedes. Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, vino de nosotros. se hablas español, mi disculpa por mi mala pronunciación. Estoy aprendiendo. Espero que me perdonen. Si no hablas español, presta atención en tu clase de español. Si trabajas duro algún día, entenderás. Cuando llegue ese día, mándame un email, podcast. Este era el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, uso en tus oídos. Podcast. Ese era el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey. Nos vemos la semana que viene.